Good morning. It's Friday morning. Just about literally to head right into work. But wanted to share a quick verse of encouragement and a short thought. Over the past couple weeks, been pulling several shifts and had a chance to deal with some fairly mundane patients in the department, whether it was dealing with urinary tract infections or regular pneumonia. We have had some coronavirus patients, some that are quite sick, but also other folks that are sick with normal diseases we run into. I've had some patients over the past couple weeks. I've had to share bad news of either a diagnosis of cancer or a miscarriage. But then other times been able to share with folks good news that they're not having a miscarriage or that they're going to be okay with a certain condition, or being able to send them home with the coronavirus with the hope that they're going to do well. But it got me to thinking that in so much of life, and for a long time, we've kind of bought into this thing that we can totally control what's going on and get a handle on what's going on. And things like death and sickness, they just shock us and they just drag us right into reality. And that's what happens with all my patients that show up in the department every day. They get hit with reality of either a bad diagnosis or something that's trying to kill them. And oftentimes we get to separate ourselves as practitioners because we just kind of move through it as the day. But sometimes it'll hit us right square on the threat to our own lives. And then the challenge that we also run into that we're seeing as a society as a whole is it's shaken us to our core on, are we really in charge or are we not? And over the past couple of days, as we've seen improvement on flattening the curve and hospitals not being overwhelmed, folks are trying to wrestle with, how do we deal with this lack of control? And some folks will go to the thing of, we've got to keep locking down and we've got to keep high amount of government control. And then we'll see other folks on the other end of the spectrum that'll be like, oh, hell no. And they go down and they protest. And either one, I probably lean more toward the protesting side just because I grew up in Oklahoma and I'm an ex-Green Beret and I don't like the government. But both of these are responses to being out of control and wanting to mitigate death and to deal with the wickedness in the world. And I think these things are going to sort themselves out and hard questions are going to be asked. But this morning I woke up and I was just right out of the gate, was just so thankful to God in that He provides daily. And I was just, God, thank you, I got a house and I got food and I got clothes and I got health. And in the middle of that worship and recognizing Him as being in charge, there was a peace that came in the middle of that and a cognition that even though both of these extremes, whether it's individualism or extreme government, controlling us from the top down, are both things where we're trying to put control over the top of it and not laying it down before His feet. And it reminded me of a verse in Proverbs 3:5. It says, trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your path. And that truth applies both to us individually as far as in our own lives when we go about our days where we're trusting Him for the food we need or what we're supposed to be doing or how we're supposed to spend our money or who the people we're supposed to interact with, or as governments and as people as a whole, because we're all interconnected. And so I'd pray today that you'd ask God, hey, where am I trusting You? And where do I need to trust You more so that I can lean not on my own understanding, but acknowledge You in all the ways, all the things that are going on. And then that You might pray that our leaders would acknowledge Him and folks that don't know Him would acknowledge Him, and that He would give us all a path out of this way and out of this bondage to a disease that's attacking us all, and to the threat of us losing our livelihoods. So anyway, I hope that encouraged you. Proverbs 3:5. So you guys stay shiny out there. Wash your hands. Have a great Friday.